Hello. We're going to take a look at some deer park trails in order to offer up some corrections to the maps. We'll be focusing on the duck trail, which is probably the most popular of the primary trails. We're going to look at two different maps I've got from the town. The first one is from the Oromocto website. This one is also the map posted through the trail system on metal plaques. As a bonus, this first map matches the trail signage out there, so I'll refer to this map as the main map. It shows the primary trails in the legend, less the poplar trail, and this map is a pretty decent representation despite its mistakes. The second map is from a pamphlet I got from the town office. It has the legend included there, and you can see some of the names are slightly different. This map is definitely different from the first. Some of the errors have been corrected, but there are new mistakes. To distinguish this one from the main map, I'll call it the pamphlet map. And then I guess the third thing we're going to use is Google satellite imagery to map things out as we walk through the trail. So starting from the trailhead, we're going to focus on Duck Trail. So let's get started. Looking north-northwest from the trailhead, we can see where Duck Trail leads off. As of March, it looked like this. The blue line shows where the trail goes. When we follow it across the field, we get the opening to the wooded trail. The opening looks like this, and again, I'll put a blue line to show the basic run of the trail. Now let's compare it with our maps. Checking the main map, the yellow connector trail running east-west is shown but is not evident on the ground. Although we can see a small shadow on Google Earth, it's not really in service. This connector has been cut out of the pamphlet map. Probably the right answer. But let's get back to Duck Trail and follow it clockwise. So we head into the woods. There are a few lesser trails left and right, but we're going to ignore those for now. We're going straight until we arrive at a Y junction, and it looks like this. The maps and signage show that Duck Trail goes left following the ponds. Straight ahead is a yellow connector. So on our map it looks like this. And that matches both of our reference maps. Good. Continuing left, we see a lesser trail heading off to the right, but we go forward and around the bend. Before long we get to a T-junction. This is clearly the other end of that yellow connector. So it's pretty open and clear from the picture. This spot is usually quite wet and muddy when there's no snow. But again here, the blue line shows Duck Trail bending left and that yellow connector heading off to the right. So by our maps, we've made it around what's effectively the duck's bill, and both maps show the T-junction in a way that makes sense. So let's continue northeast. It's usually pretty muddy in here, so it's a nice thing that it's snow and ice now. Before long, we're at a four-way intersection that looks like this. Duck Trail goes straight ahead in blue through this four-way intersection. There's a little connector across a causeway to the left, and to the right is the long and straight meadow trail. In the pic you can also see some signage and a bench. Someone has actually scratched a correction into the painted metal sign. Anyhow, checking our main map, we see the intersection is represented incorrectly. The main map shows two offset T-junctions, but it clearly should be 9-degree four-way intersections. The newer pamphlet has it right though. That's good. So we're at the intersection of Duck Trail and Meadow Trail. If we go left, we get connected to River Trail shown in red. And if we go right, then we'll be following Meadow Trail back to the trailhead. But if we go straight on Duck Trail like we plan, we'll start coming around a big bend. The conditions here are really good. The pond northeast also seems to host the most ducks when it's that time of year. And the trail looks like this, with Duck Trail winding its way along the pond. We also pass the other end of that lesser trail that cuts through the Duck's Head. But we continue along Duck Trail and arrive at this intersection. So although one might guess that Duck Trail goes straight here, the signage and the maps actually pull us to the left. Straight ahead would start us on a yellow connector, but we are going left. Compared to the main map, this matches fine, but the pamphlet map seems to be missing the intersection, or or maybe has it mixed up with the others. Regardless, we stay on Duck Trail, and just ahead there's another intersection. Again, Duck Trail goes kind of forward to the left, and a second yellow connector appears on the right. Our maps show the same thing. The main map matches, and the pamphlet is quite off. So we'll note that and carry on. Soon we come to a clear four-way intersection. Duck Trail appears to turn right and merge into some yellow connectors, and north and east are the river trail, shown on red. So that's our intersection. Duck Trail turning one way, river trail turning the other. Let's compare our maps. The main map is very close. It has the connectors right, but shows the Duck Trail and river trail intersections as two offset T-junctions again, instead of the four-way that it is. Against the pamphlet map, things really don't add up. The Duck and river intersection might be right, but the connectors would be all wrong. So from where we are, left and straight is the river trail, but we're turning right to follow Duck Trail. We immediately come to a Y junction that looks like this, and we're now on a connector heading out of the woods. To our right we see another yellow connector heading back parallel to Duck Trail. But this connector will keep going west and link up with the other two. And Meadow Trail, shown in green, also comes down to meet our connector. So that's how they all fit together. How does this look on the maps? Correct on the main map, and quite wrong on the pamphlet map. Well, we are out of the woods, so we should return on the service road. Here is where our connector meets the road in a T-junction. The service access road is purple and goes east-west. When we look back to the trailhead, we can see right down the access road and even see cars in the parking lot. The Meadow Trail in green also bumps up to the access road. Map check then. The main map shows the access road as a segment of river trail and connecting to the trailhead. Unlike the rest of the named trails, though, this segment of river trail is not signed with the white arrows on red. But for the pamphlet map, it's got the service access road on there, but it's shown as Deer Trail in the legend. I'm not too sure about that. From this perspective, though, those three trails running north off the service road seem to be decently represented. And two other small notes. First, there is no trail on the east side of the ball field. Probably like the north one, it has been overtaken by nature. Secondly, the main map shows a segment of Duck Trail leading south out of the trailhead. This trail exists, but is only shown on the main map. No problem. So let's try to do a roll-up of these map corrections. So let's look at the main map. We should delete those two yellow trails around the ball field. We need to fix the Duck Trail and Meadow Trail intersection to show it as a four-way, not the offset T-junctions. And the same thing with Duck and River Trail intersection. It should be shown as a single four-way intersection. We can delete the bottom piece of Duck Trail or make it yellow and show it as a connector to the trailhead. For the pamphlet map, I see they have Poplar Trail on it. That's an older one, but is cited and named by the town. The rest is about right, but that mess of connectors in the east is just too far off. Anyway, what do I think? I think most of these trails in the maps make sense. The corrections are pretty clear and easy. The only little thing I would suggest would be to switch the last segments of Duck and River Trails. The idea would be that going through that last four-way intersection, you should be staying on the same trail if you're going straight, instead of that the double bend it does there. Also, I think it would be fine to let the inside yellow connector grow over and be erased. It serves no purpose to the trail system. And I'd cut River Trail short at the service access road, and then show the access road as such. It can be understood to be part of the trailhead extending out for the beginnings of all of those Duck Trails and Deer Trails. And of course, don't forget the NB Trail running right past Deer Park, and putting Poplar Trail back to the west end of Deer Park. Maybe we want to know where all the little goat tracks are too, or maybe not. Maybe that's too much. Anyhow, let's end it there. I hope this was clear and useful. The end.